It's a good one, huh? Yeah, yes.
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, so what was also the process with Graham and David of sort of writing the show, collaboration? Can you talk a little bit about what that was like?
At first, with David Shore and myself, we co-created the concept of it. And there was the idea of bail bonds has been culminating, in my mind, wanting to create a show dealing with that world, which is a thin layer away from criminality. It's so interconnected, and I thought there's some dirtiness to it, and I always wanted to figure out how to do that, and this was a fortunate thing that's like, ooh, this seems to be right for that, so that's how we came to that. It was originally produced for CBS, and CBS, of course, has their model. It would have been more procedural at CBS, and that's what they want. And
like a bail bond of the week.
A skip of the week kind of thing, and the relationship between the two cousins, so to speak, and what would happen there and how long. So the series-long secret would be his identity, but each week would be a different thing. So the construct seemed to work, and CBS loved it. Nina Tassler said, we love the show, and it was very high in the testing. We were told that it rated second of all their dramas that year, and so we were thinking, oh, this is good, and it didn't get picked up. And I don't want to say that that's why Nina Tassler left CBS, but I think it was the last straw.
And then how did Giovanni get involved with?
It was an offer. It was Sharon Bialy, our casting director. We were looking for different, all kinds of different types of actors. Who do we want? What does a con man look like? Well, a con man could look at
Here, look at this guy.
Especially with the mustache.
I know.
And so we were looking at all kinds of, prototypes of what that is. But in the back of my mind, and I knew that David Shore, and then eventually when David realized that this was doing, to answer your question here, how that change came over, David got to the point where he didn't feel that he was the right guy to continue on a serialized version. He's more broadcast kind of guy, and so he stepped away. And we were friends, and it's like, okay, well, thank you. It's what's best for you. And I went after Graham Yost and seduced him, and got him to come on and be the captain of the ship. So that's how that happened. I've worked with Graham 20 years ago. Where was I? Talking about casting.
Yes.
So in the back of my mind, and David's was at the time, we have to just go with the best actors. Let's not try to match image to something. Let's just go with the best actors, and that was true all the way down the road. So when Sharon Bialy mentioned, and Sherry Thomas mentioned Giovanni Ribisi, we all took a pause. Truly, it was like, oh wow, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
So I'm proud to say that we went after him first. We had to cast him first, and once he read the script and wanted to be on board, we were very pleased with that. And we went out and found the best actors around. Margo, of course, and Marin, and Peter Garrity, and Shane. Everybody was our first choice. We didn't have to go to our second choice on anybody. We were very fortunate. Because we had this mandate, best acting wins.
Yeah.
I don't care what your resume says. I don't care if you've worked with the best, biggest movies. It doesn't matter. We want to go for the. So aside from Giovanni and Margo, and Peter's more known for his stage work and stuff, and so is Marin, and there was some fresh faces there.
For you, I mean, you've done every type of genre. You've done every format there is. Why was this one especially appealing for you?
I think. To that, I mean, really, I think Bryan Cranston is one of our great American actors. I think, and it's just a privilege to have a conversation even, and I think that it was, I guess, solipsistic for me because to a greater or lesser degree, any project you want to go in and you want to try to grow a little bit, and this was that for me. And so even at the time in the beginning, we did the pilot, and he was coming on as a creator and a producer, and then when it went over to Amazon and Graham, it I guess what the word is,
Debouched.
Expanded into his participation, acting in it, which we were all, like, you put down the phone, oh, really, okay, cool, oh my God! And yeah, so that was that, and then of course, learning about, I wasn't familiar with Marin Ireland's work before, but having worked with her, she's just like, reminds me of one of those classic, sharp-witted Bette Davis style actors. Margo Martindale, goes without saying. I actually worked with Peter Garrity years ago, and just remember how his talent stood out to me, and so it was just all of that. It's just one of those things, and you feel, I think that for that, everybody's head, especially with the captain here, everybody's head is really about wanting to do the best job that they can to do something that's effective. And it also speaks to, I think, I was saying yesterday, in this sort of golden age of television that we have with Amazon and Netflix and HBO and all that it seems like they predicate their standards on quality as opposed to quantity. I don't in broad generalities, but network television was always about the numbers. You watch Patty Chayefsky's network. It's so typical of that, and this is really about how much people enjoy it, and like the ratings that people contribute, and audiences can from around the globe talk about their opinions, and I think that's what inspires Amazon. So this is something. This happened in the last 3 years, right? I think this is something really exciting for entertainment, really, for television.
And for features, actually. I just did a movie for Amazon.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like they're...
And I can't believe,
working with an Amazon versus CBS and Amazon are like two totally
very different.
things,
Yeah, Amazon, their model is to point out what is working for them and what is not working for them, and allowing the creative team to solve them, as opposed to broadcast networks have a tendency to be more hands-on, more noting. Can he be a podiatrist instead of a dentist? And it's like, if there's a lateral move, I don't. Yeah. So I mean, everyone get notes. We all get notes all the time. But theirs was, we're bumping on this thing, or we don't quite think that this is clear enough. Got it? We'll make that clear. So they don't impose beyond the note, the initial note, which is a great partner to have. Yeah.
Sorry, we have time for one more question.
Are there revelations to your character? We get that sense of him when we first meet him. Are there twists and turns to who he is beyond what he initially appears to be?
Yeah. And with that, I always want to, yeah, there are. To me, the intention, whether I was playing that character or not, I want every character to be saying something that is truthful and also have an underlying thing that's not, or they're secret. And there is a revealing experience with this in the greater scheme of the storylines, that it reveals more of who the person is. Even this character, and he's certainly not the at the forefront, but and really best idea wins. So that's the way it was with Graham in the room pitching ideas. That's the way it is on the set. in the latter part, in fact, it's the second to the last, I think it's the penultimate episode or the ultimate episode, I can't remember. There's a thing that happens, and G gave me an idea. He said, you might want to, like that. And I went, whoa, and it really changed the dynamic of the scene tremendously. And that's what we want. We want that input, best idea wins. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's amazing because it's not that black and white. I mean, there is that dynamic, good versus evil, and this is ultimately, I think, with any good plot or story, there's to a greater degree a morality tale there, but it's more human than anything, and there's that complexity where you say one thing but you're meaning something else, and we all have that. I mean, I have that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry.